Hi, my name is Jerry and I collect 1970s toys, mainly toy soldiers, and that's what this video is all about. I'm gonna do another battle scene setup here on my studio table. I've done two videos on this before. I have some ideas how to do something a little bit different this time. Also because I recently purchased a bit of a collection of Britain's Deetail toy soldiers from back in the 70s, you know, the really nice quality one and the expensive ones that we all wanted, and I only had a few when I was a kid because they were pretty expensive. So I want to set those up right away now that I got them. And also I figured since those are a little bit more expensive quality, I figured I'd also use some of my other expensive toys. The Dinky line, the metal vehicles. This one is the anti-tank half-track, you know, you have the 88 and some Schwimmwagens and stuff. I'll show you everything that's going to be in the video in a minute and just go through everything I'm using. So yeah, I figured I'd do like a super quality video this time with just the most expensive toys from back then, and they're pretty expensive today as well. And I'll set it up with some buildings, some forests and everything like that. So yeah, let's see what's going to be in the video. First, of course, Britain's Deetail soldiers, US infantry versus German infantry. And then for guns and vehicles, two Dinky US howitzers, and then I decided to use a little US Jeep as well. I got the Britain's Schwimmwagen with the crew. I figured I'd use that one. Then we have two pack, are these 38s? You tell me. And then we have two of the Dinky Schwimmwagen here that I'm going to use to tow the anti-tank guns with. And in the back here, of course, legendary Dinky 88mm. This is the one with the wheels for towing. And then the Dinky half-track anti-tank gun, and then I figured I'd just use Airfix plastic half-track just to tow the 88 with. And then for buildings and terrain, I'm using the Airfix checkpoint, two of the Airfix strong points. One I'm setting up more like a really ruined building, and then in the back here I have the Britain's playset buildings, really hard to come by. And then, of course, one of my favorites, the Matchbox counterattack building. And I'm going to set this up like several buildings, ruins. And then my trusty little Britain's forest, which I really, really like. And I'm getting more of this so I can actually make a really big forest. And then just some of the blue box terrain features that I really like to put in this. So let's set it all up and see how it looks. All right, it's all done. I think it turned out really cool, actually. I like it a lot. Let me show you all the little different scenes on this scenario here real quick then. So let me first show you the whole scene here. There's a forest, there's a main street or whatever you want to call it. There's some more forest, and you see you have a German convoy moving through town here. Let me give you the story on the whole thing here then. So I figured this is going to represent that over here, behind here, there's a German base off in the distance. And there's a convoy moving through the post here, the guard. And they're moving through a small town on the main street here. But what they don't expect is the American ambush. So I got two howitzers set up here with a great line of sight to the first vehicle of the convoy here. Of course, using the howitzer as anti-tank guns, because I don't have those Dinkies yet. I got to get those. But I really like this, that I have the howitzers with the crew, because it looks really cool to have those. They're designated for this. So they are there, and there's even a bazooka also. Over here, a Jeep just left off some American soldiers that were late to the party. The officer, the one from the mortar, on a single base like this works really well. So he's telling them, you got to move up fast. Ambush is about to start. Over on the right flank here, the US right flank, you have another little ambush with infantry set up. But they are being discovered by these German soldiers here. So there's a fight about to break out on this side, or actually even started. So I'm not sure if the Germans are going to be able to repel this. So a few soldiers, like I said, discovered the ambush on this side. A few more are moving in to support. And in between the buildings, the Germans actually have a mortar set up. So that's going to help them out a lot. But there's also some more US soldiers over here by this building. So I don't know. What do you think? Is this convoy going to make it through to fight another day? There you got the Britain's Schwimmwagen. I really like it. And then the 88 and the Airfix half-track. And I think it worked out well, making like a little small main street here of a small town or hamlet with the Britains buildings, and then the Matchbox building set up almost like two. And then you have the two strong points here, and I turned them opposite ways with the chimneys there just to make it a bit different. But I think it turned out really cool. I like it. It's a fun little scenario to set up. And I'm thinking maybe I should use all this same stuff and just trying to see if I can make another one in a different way. I discovered something making this video, and that is that Les, like the Swedish guitar player, metal guitar player, Yngwie Malmsteen said, he says more is more. But in this video I actually realized that less is actually more, because having fewer soldiers, as I do with having the Britains Deetail, and most of us did back then because they were a lot more expensive, that meant we couldn't have as many of them as we could with Airfix or Matchbox. And I kind of made this battle scene not as cluttered as the other two I've done previously on the channel. Where the first one with the desert battle scene, it must have been 100 soldiers on there, and it was just the whole thing on the whole table was just packed with soldiers. So that means if you were a kid, you would just do bam, 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 and shooting everybody, falling over all the time, and just going to be a mass slaughter. This makes it more like you have individual soldiers, small units, and you can kind of play around with them in a different way. So I really appreciate it, having less figures than more this time, and also the quality of the dinky vehicles. Oh man, these are fantastic. Just being compared to most others back then, plastic, these, I mean, this one is really, really heavy. And this is Britain's, of course, but just this one is actually heavier than the Britain's one. Just having metal vehicles to give you that solidity, and they have certain this is so stupid, it's just something how they roll compared to a plastic vehicle, the solidity, the slowness maybe of it or something is really, really nice. And the attention to detail on these are, I would say, not a scale model good, but they're better than your average toy soldier vehicle kind of a thing. So these were really, really good. And of course, I think their artillery pieces and anti-tank pieces were the best that they did, Dinky, back then. Like the 88 is so nice. I really like, you know, you can elevate it. It's just really, really good. And the little anti-tank on the Germans. And the added thing that you could actually, you know, once you lost the plastic shells that came with it, you could use toothpicks or matches or anything like that and just cut them up short. That it actually has a play feature, and since they're metal, that play feature really lasts. I have some used dinky artillery and anti-tank pieces, and 50 years later they still actually work, even though they're like play worn. But again, me going on a long rant about maybe not such important things, but to me they are, and I really, really like these toys because of the quality of that. So I guess that's it for this video. I'll catch you in another one. Cheers.